Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Embodied Divinity. Settle in with me, and if you can, place one hand on your heart, one on your belly. Let your body know you are safe to arrive. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. If tears are near, you are welcome here. If rage is near, you are welcome here. If you feel nothing or everything, you are welcome here. Today, we are entering a three-part conversation that's really one story. We're going to talk about no scorecard spirituality, dreaming as a rebellion, and receiving miracles in the ruins. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I am here to sit beside you and tell the truth from my heart. This last week, once again, I felt the world pressing in. I did my morning routine, I moved my body, I breathed, and the dread still came. The rage still rose like a storm I couldn't swallow. I went to the gym, and on the treadmill, I literally felt heat under my skin. I questioned if the fire was mine or if it belonged to the collective. I thought about the women, I thought about the news, I thought about the cost of being human and awake. That night, as I laid in the dark, candles silent, crickets singing, sirens in the distance, I asked for a miracle. Not a lightning bolt, but something kind, something that would not ask me to pay with my life to receive it. And I share that because I do not want you to think that healing is a straight road. Some days I am holy, and some days I am human, and most days I am both. But I want to talk about something as clearly as I can today because it's a trap so many people fall into. There is no scoreboard in the sky. No angel with the clipboard tallying your green juice against the glass of wine. No cosmic bookkeeper deducting blessings because you laughed too loud or ate bread. Somewhere along the way, spiritual language got braided with performance. We started checking ourselves like we were on trial. Is this choice high vibration? Will this block love? Will this ruin my wealth? Will this cancel the miracle? These are all things I've heard from clients in the last 3 weeks. This is not devotion, that's surveillance. And surveillance is the opposite of intimacy. Let's take another deep breath. Place your palm on your heart and whisper, I am not a project. Again, I am not a project. I am a person who gets to live. I learned this the hard way. I tried to be pure enough to deserve peace. I tried to be disciplined enough to deserve money. I tried to be good enough to deserve love. But what broke me open was that peace came on nights I let myself be messy and still chose tenderness. Money flowed when I stopped making it my judge and let it be my ally. Love moved toward me when I stopped pretending I was finished and let myself be seen. No scorecard spirituality does not mean apathy. It means connection before correctness, presence before performance. It's a living conversation with your body, your breath, your God. If you're somewhere right now where you can close your eyes, let's do that together. If you're driving or walking, keep your eyes open and just imagine. I want you to see a giant scoreboard in your mind with your name on the top. See every rule you were given, every spiritual should, every mortal tape loop from childhood, every new age formula that promised you desire if you behaved. Now see yourself holding a match. You touch it to the corner of the board. You watch it catch. You watch it burn all the way down to ash. Whisper, my worth is not measured. My life is not graded. And breathe. If you need a sentence for your pocket when the loop starts spinning again, use this. My blessings are not fragile. One choice cannot undo who I am becoming. My blessings are not fragile. One choice cannot undo who I am becoming. I'm diving deeper into this no scorecard spirituality on this week's meditation. It'll be out Wednesday, but we're going to go on a journey into this inner place where we might keep that scoreboard and have a conversation. So tune in for that if this is resonating with you. But I want to remind you of 3 stories that I've told over the last few months that helped me really notice that the sacred was in the ordinary and not in these big, grandiose acts. One night, I slept under the stars. It was a night that I felt like a ghost in my own life. There was no ceremony, there was no perfect posture, just me and a blanket and the sky. And at some point, the wind shifted and I felt it touch my face like a hand. I felt loved for no reason. I woke with dew in my hair and softness in my chest, and that stayed with me for days. There was another time not too long ago, I was in the store. My eyes were glazed, picking up something I can't even remember now. And a woman near me started dancing to the music playing overhead. Just her body remembering joy. And for a minute, the whole story changed. People were smiling at each other. The air was different. I remembered that aliveness can return without explanation. Yet another night, I lit a candle and whispered to the partner I haven't met yet. I told him about my day. I told him what I'm learning about devotion to self. I felt the room grow warm. And I felt like love was not far away. Not because I earned it, but because I allowed myself to feel it. Holiness is not a prize. It is a way of being here in the moment. It's not about following some rule book or guidelines. That's where we get deep into organized religions and all the ways that keep our soul trapped at the words of men. When we can instead live with intention, with a prayer in our hearts and an open mind, we find the most peace and the most blessings, and we don't have to try so hard for it. Place your feet on the floor. Feel the ground. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you breathe, ask yourself softly, what would bring me closer to life right now? Let your body answer rather than your mind. Maybe it's water or a stretch, music, a phone call, a nap, a walk, a piece of fruit, a text that says, I love you. Choose one, maybe the smallest one, and let that be enough. So, with all of this, all of the things I want to dive into today, there's this deep kind of oppressive feeling, right? Rules and guidelines around spirituality can oppress the soul. And right now, we're living in a world where there's a lot of oppression energy present. And for me, this last week, part of the reason for my heaviness is there was kind of like this hopelessness, like, how do we, especially those in America, even begin to dream right now when there is so much death and destruction going on? It was really disheartening and it felt so heavy in my body, and I couldn't see past a lot of the rage. And one night I was sitting in meditation and I was telling this to my God, and just like this feeling of how how can we even exist if we can't dream? And the answer was that dreaming is the rebellion. Right now, there's a reason you feel tired when you try to dream. Oppressive systems depend on our fatigue. Hopelessness is a tool. Numbness is a tool. Self-doubt is a tool. Dreaming is not foolish. Dreaming is dangerous to systems that want you compliant. Every time you let yourself desire a beautiful life, you are breaking an old spell. And I'm not talking about fantasy that floats above the pain. I am talking about dreams that root into the ground you are standing on. Dreams that include your body, your bills, your breath, your children, your hunger, your rest. Dreams that do not require you to vanish to be worthy of them. When I say dreaming as a rebellion, I mean writing down what you want without apologizing. I mean circling one of those dreams and taking the smallest action toward it today. I mean letting your longing live in your home instead of keeping it in the garage like it's a secret. If you can, today, even right now, grab a page. If not, speak it into your notes app or into the air and title it Things I Am Allowed to Want. Write 10 lines. Don't judge them and let them be specific. Let them be wild. Let them be tender. Some of them might sound like, I want a home that feels like a song. I want money that arrives with ease and stays to build a life. I want a love that is safe, devoted, and alive. I want my body to feel like home. I want to laugh with my friends and forget the time. I want to take my kids somewhere beautiful and watch them breathe deeper. I want to say no without a trembling voice. I want to say yes without fear that it will be taken away. Keep going until you feel a soft ache, because that ache is where truth lives. Once you have your list, circle one and ask, what is the smallest action that honors this dream in the next 24 hours? Open a window and dance to one song, draft the first paragraph, put $5 into a future fund, send the message, light the candle, take the nap. One step is a revolution when you were taught to stand still. On the day last week that rage was the loudest, I went to the gym anyway. I went because a version of me who keeps choosing to live wanted to live. And I walked, and I let my hands curl into fists. I let sweat be prayer. I didn't try to make it mean I was good, and I didn't make it mean I was bad. It just meant that I was here. I literally felt like I was burning from the inside out. There was just so much bubbling within me. When I got home, I wrote one dream on a torn piece of paper: financial freedom with softness. I put it under the candle and I said, I don't know how, but I do know I am done policing myself into collapse. And I asked for a miracle. Then I ate dinner with my daughter and watched a late movie. The miracle wasn't in a wire transfer. It was a night where I remembered I like being alive. I keep that paper near my altar now. It's a seed, a small seed that I planted in the remains. There are the miracles that split the sky, and then there are the miracles that slip in through the side door when you think nothing is working. A stranger pays for your coffee, your child laughs at your bad joke, you find $20 in a coat pocket, or maybe your neighbor brings you mint from their garden. For me, sometimes it's just that I sleep through the night or remember to breathe. But if you only count lightning, you miss the sunrise. If you only count jackpots, you miss the coins that teach your nervous system that receiving is safe. One of the things I love to practice, and I want you, if it feels good, to practice now, is for the next 7 days, write down 3 small miracles each day. And do it like you're training your eyes to notice that life is still touching you. If you forget, do it at night before you sleep. If you feel silly, good. Humility is also a door. I take a little notebook around with me. Some people use their phone. I'm trying to get away from lots of digital stuff. So I take a little notebook and I jot down these tiny miracles. But miracle tracking is a way to stop outsourcing wonder to a future that never arrives. And I've seen so many people get trapped in this cycle of waiting for this miracle. Meanwhile, they're surrounded by 50 miracles a day. They're just not counting because they don't meet their standards of being big enough. Right now, in this moment, if you can, once again, close your eyes. See yourself standing in a place that looks like ruins. Maybe it's a city after a storm or the inside of your chest. The ground is uneven. The air smells like smoke and rain. You kneel and place your palm on the ground. You whisper, I am still here. You feel something answer back, almost like a pulse beneath the earth. You reach into your pocket. There are 3 seeds. One is labeled presence. One is labeled dream. One is labeled miracle. You place the first seed in the soil and say, I choose to be here with myself. You place the second seed in the soil and you say, I choose to want without apology. You place the third seed in the soil and you say, I open to grace that does not demand my suffering as proof. Cover them gently. Bring your hand to your heart and breathe. Above you, the sky is not sure what it wants to be yet. Cloud and light. You are allowed to live in the in-between. When you are ready, open your eyes. Before we close, I want to name something about money because it touches nearly every part of our lives. Many of us are taught that wealth responds only to punishment. Work until your body says no, sacrifice and call it virtue. When money arrives, be suspicious of it. When it leaves, believe it's your fault. But I'm not interested in that story. This is the one I am practicing. Money is a relationship. I'm learning to greet it at the door with warmth. I track what arrives and I say thank you because I'm acknowledging its presence. I notice what leaves and I bless it as it goes to do its job in the world. I take one small step each week to make it easier for money to live in my home. A tiny product, a tiny system, a tiny yes. No scoreboard spirituality applies here too. I do not have to be perfect to receive. I get to be human and still build a life that feels like a deep breath. One of my favorite simple sentences is, I am safe to receive and I am safe to keep. We covered a lot today, and I want to offer you some journaling questions. I'll put these in the description of wherever you're listening to the podcast at, but take some time this week and journal them out. What rule am I willing to lay down today so I can be more present? What dream am I done apologizing for? What is one place I can expect a small miracle to appear? Who can I tell the truth to about how I am? What would bring me 1 inch closer to life in the next hour? As we say our goodbyes, place your hand on your heart again. Feel the weight, feel the warmth. And repeat after me, or just listen and let it penetrate your mind. I am not a score. I am a soul in a body, and I get to be here. I honor the rage that proves I am alive. I honor the grief that shows me what I love. I honor the dream that refuses to die. I honor the miracles that arrive quietly and make home in me. I am safe to receive. I am safe to keep. I am safe to rest. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. If you are walking through the ruins, I am walking beside you. If you are planting seeds with shaking hands, I am planting them too. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode met you, share it with someone who needs a soft hand on their back today. And remember, I bring these conversations with a lot of intention, and so there's a whole outline of ways that we can walk together through this. If you're on Substack with me, every Tuesday and Thursday there's an article that goes along with this week's theme that helps you deepen into what we're learning here. Wednesday's guided meditation helps you sink deeper into this energy. And I also have a ton of resources like the Inner Child Oracle cards and my book, Breathe Deep and Plan on Miracles, that help you really deepen into yourself and see the world through that lens of love and knowing. However, I can support you, I'm here. And I love you. Thank you for walking with me today. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles. Talk soon.